It's 16 minutes to 8 on RM Breakfast. Our guest this morning is the Federal Treasurer, Wayne Swan, talking about some of those hard yards. The stimulus spending, which of course created the deficit, and now we're trying to head out of deficit into surplus. Local councils are quoted today in the Australian newspaper saying they want to slow down their spending of infrastructure funding, which came under your stimulus program, because they say the crisis has passed and basically they could spend it more wisely if they had more time. That seems prudent.
Well, I haven't seen the full submission from local councils, but could I just make a couple of points about our stimulus? Our stimulus is providing a vital pipeline of investment in local communities right around this country, particularly in the area of non-residential construction. For example, Fran, I've just been up in North Queensland and far North Queensland, and it's very important that that pipeline of investment continues because what we do need is to continue to support our construction sector. Now, I know the Liberal Party want to take the axe to the stimulus, they want to take the axe to building the education revolution. Well, I'll tell you what, if that happens, there'll be a lot more unemployment in the building sector at a number of parts of this country.
So,
Frank, can I also just... No, I haven't seen the full submission from
let me just give you one quote from Jeff Lake, the president of the local councils, who said basically the specific urgency around getting money out the door quickly has abated to some extent. Do you accept that?
Well, I don't necessarily accept that characterisation because we've got a requirement in many communities right around this country to continue to support employment, but also to continue to train the workforce that we need for the future. And that is why we've got today an additional incentive that we're putting into the system for the apprenticeship bonus, an additional assistance for apprentices to stay on in the trades. Because one of the big successes we've had so far during the global recession and the global financial crisis is we've managed to keep training our apprentices. We've never done that before in Australia. Now, that's going to be very important as we go forward, as the pipeline of projects, particularly in the resources sector, comes on, that we've got the skilled workforce to work in that areas where private investment is coming back.
Treasurer, now, big successes, and there have been big failures too in the $42 billion stimulus rollout. I think as voters start to crystallise, who they're going to vote for just a week from now, they would like to hear from you what lessons you have learnt from rolling out big spending stimulus programs, because there have been some mistakes.
Well, certainly we've seen that through the Orgel review in the BER.
What lessons have you learnt?
Well, we've learnt the lessons that have come through those independent reports, and we've already taken those on board and we've responded to those. But there's a very big lesson here, Fran, and the very big lesson to learn is that governments do need to move when their economies are threatened. Governments do need to put in place public investment which replaces the private investment which is withdrawn, so we can continue to support our people. Fran, when I go around this country, and I've been around it a lot in the last couple of months, I always run into small business people in towns and suburbs who walk up to me and say, if it wasn't for building the education revolution or other public investment projects, their small businesses will simply close their doors. They wouldn't be working at the moment. That pipeline of investment has been absolutely critical. It's what avoided recession in this country. And of course, if the Liberals had been in power, we would have had a recession because we would not have had that public investment.
Treasurer, on an unrelated matter, are you worried about the damage Mark Latham's story could do for Labor in 60 Minutes on Sunday night?
Not especially. What people out in the streets and the suburbs and the country towns of Australia are talking to me about are the very big policy issues. What we're going to do to continue to train our workforce, what we are going to do to support our families, what we're going to do to support local communities. They're the issues, not Mark Latham.
You're a pretty experienced judge of these things. In your home state of Queensland, all the polls suggest the voters have gone off Labor quickly and deeply. Are you sensing any warming to Labor in these final days?
As I've moved through the regional areas of Queensland over the past few days, we've got some very good contests happening there, and we are very, very competitive with great local candidates and great support, particularly for investment and infrastructure. Regions like that really want super fast broadband. They understand its importance. They understand that Tony Abbott's going to rip it up. Tony Abbott, when he said that he wasn't going to support broadband in regional areas, shocked a lot of people around regional Australia.
Treasurer, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you.
Federal Treasurer Wayne Swan in our Parliament House studio. And I'm sure a lot of you are wondering why we haven't spoken to Tony Abbott yet on RM Breakfast. It's not from lack of trying. We'll continue to ask. Requests for an interview with the opposition leader. We're assured he does want to speak to you, so hopefully next week. It's 11 minutes to 8.